Okay, good morning, everybody. I think we'll go ahead and get started. I think we have a few more people that are going to join in, but they can just come on in when they're ready. So, thanks for attending. This is our fourth topic in our summer webinar series with Pixami. I'm Gary Wood from Pixami, for those of you that don't know me. And the topic today is how to sell Pixami for sales reps. And this is actually something that we've been asked to provide uh, pretty frequently by some of our customers. A lot more specific competitive detail on Pixami's unique value proposition. What are our specific advantages over the competition? And so forth. And so that's really what's going to happen with this one today. A lot more detail on features and things like that, and unfortunately a little more PowerPoint than in previous webinars. But I'm also going to spend some time at the end, and we'll go through a demo of the software. We've got customers here, so everyone's pretty familiar with how the software looks and works. But I think what I'll do is jump into the software and do a little bit of an overview. And I'd like to hear any specific objections that people get as salespeople, so we can address some of that stuff. I think I've pretty much heard it all, over the years, and so I'm happy to have that discussion as well. Okay, and I've got everybody on mute. I've got my chat screen from GoToMeeting right in front of me. So definitely, any questions or anything else along the way, just definitely jump right in, and I'll answer it as I move forward here. Okay, so if I can find the next button, there it is. So on the first slide, given that this is really how to sell Pixami, for those that don't know us, I think it's important that we spend just a minute on our history. And the reason being, Pixami's new to the yearbook space compared to some of the other competitors that are out there. We've only been in the yearbook space for about 7 or 8 years now, but we're not a new company. And so I think it's just important to know our history a little bit, because I think it helps. A lot of people have a yearbook horror story with a fly-by-night software company, stuff like that. So I think it helps just to know kind of the history behind this stuff. And so I'll spend a little bit of time on this. So you can see, we were founded in 1999. We actually spun Pixami out of another company that was founded in 1987. And two of us, not me, I came along in 1995. The other two of my other two partners have been here back since then. So as a team, three of us have been together for 20 plus years and building custom software in the consumer photo market for that long. Pixami was formed specifically to serve the consumer online photo site market. So early customers were Snapfish, Kodak Gallery, which was Ophoto, and then Photo Point and Zing. Some of the big startup photo sites. And so that's where we started, and we built the first ever online image editor for editing images on a website. And then we built the world's first photo book software, and we actually deployed that for my publisher, for Snapfish, and Sony Image Station, a lot of other companies. And so that's the history behind the yearbook software. The yearbook software is kind of a spin out of the photo book software that became a lot more advanced over time. Okay, so I think it's just important to know this stuff's not new. There's a lot of history to it as well. So Pixami's business, just since we're here, we basically have two businesses. Uh, White label photo solutions are what we do. It's all based on a common platform, but the two businesses are B2B and B2C photo. So consumer photo, which is primarily photo books, greeting cards, calendars, all of that kind of stuff. And we have hundreds of products built into the software. We have big customers like Staples. We have a lot of smaller customers in B2B niche markets and things like that are using our software for these types of products. And then obviously the second one is school yearbooks. Yearbooks is probably the fastest growing part of our business and the newer part, and it's a big focus obviously for Pixami now. Okay, so that's just a quickie history. So now in terms of value proposition, what I put together here, I think this list, these are the things that I think we do better than everybody else. So if someone asked me to describe, why should we go with Pixami over software X. This is this is what I have in my back pocket. This is basically what I think are our big advantages. So I'll talk through these for a second here, and then the next couple slides go in detail, kind of feature by feature. What do I mean by this stuff? Okay, so unlike competitive solutions, we provide a true online solution. So like I said, I'll get into this on the next one. We're the only true web-based solution. We're the only non-app that there is in the yearbook space. And so I'll talk about that again in a few minutes. But we're the only one that can really say this, and there's some big advantages here. Advantage is no installation, compatibility with multiple platforms, iPad, Chromebook, and stuff like that as well. We also are the only ones, as far as I know, that allow you to brand the software yourself. So our customers can brand the software for themselves. They can even brand it for their schools. And a Pixami implementation of the yearbook software doesn't have to say Pixami anywhere, not even in the URL if you don't want it to. And so I think that's pretty unique to us. Short learning curve. I'll get a lot into this. Since it's a website, has a home page. It's as easy to use as a website. Advanced user collaboration, and so we have true ability to log into a single site simultaneously, all from different locations. Elementary to high school focus. So we have a pretty broad range of schools that are using us, and we have I call it kind of modes of operation in the software where, the most basic features, you can stick to these wizards, the kind of automatic features, all the templates and content, and, build a really nice book very simply. If you're a high school student, we have all the advanced layout stuff, so you can really build from a blank page and keep adding it. So we have we have the full range there. And again, I'll get into all this in a lot more detail as we move ahead. Full e-commerce capability, which I think is going to become crucial in the yearbook space. We have a lot of customers selling the yearbook online and all kinds of other products as well. Okay, so those are kind of the key advantages. Again, things that I think we do better than anybody else as a solution. How our customers benefit, lower support requirements because of several of these things. Because there's no installation. Because it's compatible with multiple platforms just right out of the box, because it's easier to learn, and because some other things that we do on the hosting side, the software is just easier, it works better, and our customers report less support calls. And this is directly from our customers, and it's pretty much a universal comment that we get. We switched to Pixami, and our support requirements went down. People figure it out, and they don't have big issues with things that they've had in the past. And so that's fairly universal. And obviously happier schools just goes along with that. It's easier to use. It's it's funner. It's less stressful, and so forth. Smoother production cycle. So Pixami is the only one that provides a truly rip-ready PDF. I'll get into that a little bit, but our customers that are doing their own printing or even driving to a third-party printer, we provide a PDF that requires no pre-flight. So imposition, crop marks, barcodes, custom trim, bleed, all of that. So you don't have to crack open a Pixami PDF on its way to the press. And so that just means things flow more smoothly at the kind of most critical, stressful time of the year. Straightforward competitive pricing. It's just a flat price per book, per site. There's no minimum, maximum user requirements. There's no school size. There's no anything. It's just a straight price based on the number of licenses. So it's a lot easier, but it's also competitive. It's right across the middle of everything else that's out there. And then complete control over the final book PDF. We don't handle printing, and so and one of the big reasons people use us versus some of the other big guys that are out there is that you have your own press, you want to control the printing, you don't want to give away some of that margin, and so we provide you the PDF once the school's submitted it. Okay, so that's a little bit on kind of value proposition. That's my kind of encapsulation, if I've got like 2 minutes on Pixami to somebody. Now, if I have an hour, now here we go into much more detail. And so, this is kind of just a level deeper on some of these things that I think are the most important. There's actually 2 slides here. So first of all, true, totally online solution. Like I said, we're the only ones that can say this. The reason is no downloads, no installations. And so you have a lot of solutions that are web-based, which means you can log in and use it in a browser, but it's loading an application. So Flash, Java, Silverlight. And so if you've ever dealt with this, sometimes at a school, especially with high security, things like that, they might have to jump through hoops to get Flash installed. Or on a certain device, if if a student wants to use it at home, and finish up some work or something like that, it's a problem. And so this is becoming more and more and more of an issue, even in the last year, and it will be in the future as browsers crack more and more down on these plugins. So Pixami is HTML5. It's all HTML. It runs in the browser. There's literally no installations or anything else. Just like your typical website, you log in and you're off and running. So big advantage here. What that also means is a lot more platform support. Flash doesn't run on the Mac or Chromebook. And so basically, given that we don't have all that stuff, we run on Windows and Mac, all the most popular browsers. We also run on the Apple iOS and the Android OS, so we run on tablets. We can run on phones. I mean, it'd be difficult to build a yearbook on a tiny screen on your phone, but you can use the software in a browser on any of those devices. And then we also run on Chromebooks, which are becoming more and more popular in the education market, just because they're cheap, and Google's really doing a great job going after that market. And so we've got some entire schools that are using Chromebooks now as well. Okay. So those, that's kind of, the detail on what I mean by true totally online solution. Brandable and customizable, I kind of mentioned that it's white label. We don't care what you do. We don't care what you call it. We have customers that have given the software a product name and call it, my company's, custom yearbook software. You can call it whatever you want. You have control over the URL. So the domain that's used for your customers to hit the software could be something you decide. And then obviously the logo. For those of you who've seen the software, you have control over the logo in the software. You can even do a full custom header if you want, color scheme and stuff like that. You can also brand documentation and sales materials. And so, I'll give you the Word documents if you want to customize the documentation however you like. We've had a lot of customers that have expanded on our documentation, done a global search and replace of Pixami to their own company name. We don't care. So we want you to be able to market your business the way that you want with the software. So we're the only ones that allow all of that stuff. Sales materials, I'll get into a little bit more later too, but we have a full suite of sales materials, also brandable. Some of the more complicated stuff, videos and things like that, we'll brand for you. And so pretty much all of that stuff is meant to be branded. Certain areas where you can just swap out a couple logos and things like that. Okay, so learning curve. I mentioned this is another one of the big ones in the value proposition. Given that it's all web-based, it really is, what I call website style navigation, for lack of a better term. There's a home page, there's a home button, and the home button always takes you back to what we call the dashboard. The dashboard has 4 buttons on it. Each button is an out and back, and that's it. So there are 5 pages to the entire experience. And so learning how to navigate and go from one place to another is really, really easy, just like a website. So it operates a lot more like a website. And, honestly, kids that are building these books now in yearbook classes and elementary school classes and things like that, they're very familiar with that kind of navigation, and they pick it up, a lot faster than a lot of adults do now. Also, help text and videos. So there are tutorial videos on every page of the software, and then other things that just make it easier. Yearbook planning ladder is pretty common. The yearbook planning ladder is kind of key to our software experience, and it follows all the way through. And so we use it quite a bit in the software. And then, of course, automatic flowing in from a PSP ACD is pretty crucial in any yearbook software and common. And we build all the folders and organize everything automatically, and then maintain the flow and things like that along the way. User collaboration. So we have true user collaboration because we're running on the web, and there's other software out there that's client based, but they have parts of it on the web and things like that. With us, the book is on the web, and everyone's logging into the exact same site simultaneously. And what you can do with Pixami is you can have the book broken into sections. Let's say it's 10 sections. Each student or each designer can check out a section and work on their own section simultaneously. Only one person can check out a section at a time, so there's nobody, stepping on anybody's toes or working on the same section together, but you can truly collaborate on the book. While you're online, you can communicate with each other too. So you can post notes back and forth to each other. You can submit the book to an advisor. The advisor can review it and pass it back to you with comments and things like that. And so we have, I think, probably a higher level of communication than I've seen with other yearbook software. And this works really well with 2 people, and it works great with 100 people. So there's really no kind of limit around how all of that gets used and set up. And then I just mentioned kind of advisor review and approval is pretty key to the process. And then entry level versus advanced level features. I hit on this a little bit too. We have elementary schools and we have just as many high schools using the software. And so an entry level, a volunteer parent, and it's the end of the school year and they need to get this thing out in a few days, we have features that allow you to do that. So automatically create pages with built-in design themes, even titles and text and things like that. Index wizard to automatically flow out your panel pages, all kinds of kind of automatic features with professionally built-in design templates. And then the more advanced, the other end of the spectrum, the high school student in a yearbook class that has 4 to 5 months to create a 4-page section for their whole grade kind of thing, we have that too. So, maybe they're using InDesign previously and they want to start from scratch and work on a grid and things like that. So all of that is available in the software as well. And they don't really overlap each other. You can kind of use the software in this mode, or you can use it in this mode. Okay. So a few more things here on the next slide. Content, this is an obvious part of a yearbook program, and we're constantly updating this. And so 3,000 backgrounds is more or less, it's actually probably is more, really. We change it every year. We just ran a report on last year, and across all of our servers, all of our customers, every school that's using it, and we tallied all the background usage, clip art, fonts, everything according to what was the most used to what was the least used. And we're expanding the design styles this year for the stuff that people like the most, that people are using. Some of it was surprising to us. You never know what people are going to like. And some of it was surprising to me, the stuff that wasn't used. And so there's probably some stuff coming out too. And so this is a really important part of it. This is the look and feel of the book. And we spend a lot of time on this stuff. We buy a lot of art, but we design probably more than what we buy in the software. We change this all the time. We have 120-page, something like that, content reference guide that details all of the stuff with thumbnails in order. So that's a great reference guide for customers for planning and for actually just having as a desk reference while you're using the software. On the admin side, single interface to manage all schools. It's really, really simple. You log in, pick the school you want to work on. You can handle everything you need there for support. You can brand, as I mentioned, individual sites for each schools, manage all your licenses, renew your schools. We have a renewal feature that allows you to basically clean out a site or just clean out a book for a school for a subsequent year. So we have a lot of elementary schools that will build the same book every year. And so you can literally, at the end of the season, click a button in Pixami. It'll clear that book but leave the design. So it'll take the images and the text out but leave the book intact. All the sections, all the pages, the background designs and things like that. 30-page saddle stitch book that looks exactly the same every year except with different pictures and text. And so you can do things like that with the renewal process that makes it easier. For high schools that create their own templates, upload their own clip art, stuff like that, you can keep that for subsequent years. Okay, and then I talked about the PDF, automatic delivery of a customized PDF. And so I mentioned that. Crop marks, barcodes, custom imposition, stuff like that. And so, this is more of a Pixami customer advantage than it is a school advantage, but it really translates to a smoother end of the year and a little bit, safer opportunity to make sure that you deliver on time. Okay, the platform. So, I mentioned this is important because we've been doing this for 20 years, high volume. We've had customers, and we actually still do, that do more books in a week than, in the consumer photo space, than our entire yearbook space in an entire year, because these are, one-offs coming in all day long every day. And so we've got a lot of experience with peak seasons and the holidays and things like that. And, the yearbooks have, an equally crazy peak season that's critical from a deadline standpoint. And so everything has to come together to make sure all that works. And so that's not only in the software being robust and working properly, and everything being thought through, but a lot of that just comes over time, getting the bugs out. It's a constant process, and we got all the major ones out years ago, and we've been building on the same platform, which is 100% proprietary. We built and own all of it, so no third parties or anything else. We've been doing that for 20 years and just keeps getting better and better. Nothing big in terms of architecture or anything like that could potentially go wrong has happened in the software for many, many, many years. And then hosting is equally important. We have a pretty advanced hosting setup. It's all proprietary. We render PDFs offline so that, when we have a bunch of PDFs being rendered, it's not slowing down the front end interface for people that are trying to, finish up their books and things like that. So we put a lot of thought into kind of the hosting side of the business. We've got a great partnership with the big ISP on that side of the business. And then finally, the storefront. I perceive this as a huge opportunity and advantage for Pixami. This is really our consumer branded storefront. Allows you to sell yearbooks online and sell ads, which I think, every yearbook company should be doing. Easily sell the yearbook online. It's an opportunity to sell more books. A lot of parents want it these days because it's a lot easier just to click on a website and just punch in your credit card or use PayPal. And so, it's definitely moving that direction. But you can also sell ads. So once you get the yearbook customer up there, they can buy an ad for their student graduating. The ads can be built online by the parents or by even local businesses and automatically transmitted to be submitted into the yearbook, so after they've been paid for it. And then you can track online, the advisor can track sales and things like that. And so ads are a really great way to build a program that generates additional revenue for your yearbook program. Okay, and then from there you can sell all kinds of other stuff, and I'll show you a little bit of this. We have the ability to produce all of this stuff. All the press printed stuff, calendars, photo books, greeting cards, graduation announcements are the #1 seller. Water bottles, coffee mugs, all kinds of stuff. All the fabrics, tapestries, pillows, pillowcases, beach towels, all custom designed and printed or branded by the school and just popped up for sale. So all of this is available. All this is included with the yearbook software, and you can just turn it on if you want to use it. And we've got all the sales and marketing materials. We've got a complete program around this stuff. And so I perceive this as an advantage for Pixami. We're really pushing people to start using it, and even with a few test schools or something like that, the ones that have used it have been very successful. Okay. So let's come and we'll talk just a little bit about the partnership, and then I'm going to move on to the demo. So this is just a little bit about working with Pixami. We have a customer support team that monitors an online support portal. This is really primarily where you go to get support from Pixami. We've got all the documentation up there, FAQ, tutorial videos, everything's available in one place. We've got an online ticketing system where you can communicate with support through tickets. You can track your questions and issues and things like that. We've also got a direct phone line and email support. And then we do a lot of training. And there's really, the training policy is unlimited. It's just, a lot of times it's way easier to jump into GoToMeeting than it is to do anything else, try to explain something on the phone. People learn in different ways. We have all the documentation that teach you as well as, teach the end users. But a lot of times, a lot of people just want to jump in and see it. And so we don't have any limit on what we'll do there. We try to produce a lot of videos and things like that, but a lot of times one-on-one is the best thing to do. So, we'll do that upon request through our support team. And then on the sales support side, our customers get free demo sites based on the number of sites that you license. And, a lot of times a school, they want to play with it. And, I don't blame them. A lot of times it's great to watch a demo video or watch someone else drive, but you just want to touch it yourself and click around on it and try certain things. And so we have demo sites that you can give out to your schools for that purpose. And then again, we do have all the marketing and demo videos. This stuff is brandable too, and so you can put this on your, you can put these up on your own website with your own brand and stuff like that. Same with sales collateral. There are flyers for the storefront, for the yearbook software. And then we've also got a lot of little sheets on specific features, and we've got some posters for schools and stuff like that. And again, all of that's meant to be brandable. You can swap out your logo or just give us your logo, and we'll do it for you and send you back PDFs. And then finally, custom product demos. I'm happy to do this myself anytime. I do this a lot for customers. They set up a lunch with a few schools and bring them in and then put me up on the big screen and I'll give a demo. I'm happy to do that. Or if you have, a particularly big opportunity with a district or, whatever, just reach out to us. Anything that we can do on the sales side to help you guys be successful, we're definitely willing to do it. And most of the time that's me. Okay, so finally now, I left the demo for the end. We'll just jump into a demo. And like I said, I'd like to have this be interactive. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has, again, objections that you get. You guys are out trying to sell Pixami. You're the ones that are talking to the schools. If there's anything that you want to know how to handle better, or you want to be able to do better as a salesperson, now is the time to just jump right in and just chat any questions to. Okay, so I am going to try to successfully pull this over here, and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go through a detailed feature by feature demo like I would in another situation or for a school. I just want to give you kind of the highlights and stay kind of at the top level, the value proposition and stuff like that. And so, if you're selling to a district, they don't need to see every little feature. They just want just a good overall view of it, of the whole package. And so that's kind of what I'm going to try to do here. And so I'm going to start with the storefront. And so the storefront is branded for every school. And actually over here I've got what you've all seen. This is the yearbook software. We'll start here. So every school has their own login page to the yearbook software, which can have their logo on it and their own custom background color. When this gets created, this site also gets created, but it's just sitting here in the background. You got to turn it on, and then the software will give you the link, and then you can start distributing to your school. So this storefront exists for all of your schools right now. Just you can literally just turn it on or work with Pixami to get it configured. Let me maximize my screen a little bit so we can look at this thing. So basically what it has, customizable header. It has customizable text. This can be whatever you want. So you can customize this head, there's a subhead, there's more text, and it's just punching it in, and then it just shows up on the page. You have special offers. You can do coupons. You can do, order your yearbook now and get 10% off until October 31st. Whatever you want to do, you can put that in here. You can support it with coupon codes and things like that. That's all built into the software and easy to do. There's a tutorial video. There's a little contact bubble. You can put your own information in here and things like that. So very customizable storefront. And then you can also customize whatever you want to sell here. The obvious one, yearbooks. At a minimum, everybody should have this store set up with this yearbook turned on and everything else turned off. I wish all of our customers would do that. I think you'll sell more books. Um, Put the yearbook up here for sale. Send the link out to schools. They can come online. They can log in and they can check out and pay for it. You get an email that a yearbook's been ordered. You can run a report at the end of the season, the complete report that tells you all the yearbooks have been ordered, by who, the student name, and their homeroom that they're in, so that you can distribute them. And then you can manage the process along the way. I get that a lot of schools, they've been taking paper checks forever. They want to do that still. So we have a feature new this year, coming at the end of this month, that allows you to enter paper checks as well. So you can manage all of your online and your offline orders in one place. So a school can kind of dip their toe into e-commerce for the yearbook without messing up their existing model of collecting paper checks. And so we added that this year based on the request from some customers last year that said, schools want to have both options. So that's available. So at a minimum, you should do that. But you can also turn on yearbook ads. And I mentioned this. You can sell yearbook ads, parents, businesses. They come online here, really simple, step-by-step process, and they can walk through and build an ad, check out. The ad gets, they pay. The ad gets transmitted to the yearbook software. So again, an ad program, great way to generate additional revenue from the software. And then all of these other products. And so I've got 2 other webinars that are just about this. I'm not going to go any further on the storefront right now, but again, important part of a program, a great way to generate additional revenue and so forth. You can check out the other webinars. They're also on YouTube if you want to see more of the ins and outs, how to build some of these products and stuff like that. Pixami has a complete program that makes it really, really easy for you to start selling all of this stuff and sharing the revenue with your schools and basically just collecting money from your orders. Okay, so that is the storefront. I need to get back over to the yearbook software, and we'll come back to the yearbook software and we'll just kind of go through it here. So again, this is a login page for a specific school, their own unique logo or your logo, background color, school name is up here, and then the advisor typically has a login. The site gets created automatically, and the advisor comes in and logs in. And just like all of the other software, you can manage all of your Pixami licenses. You could buy X number of licenses, and then you can just assign them to different schools on the back end. You can always see how many licenses you have remaining. You could buy additional if you need them. You can credit yourself back for unused licenses. Licenses roll over at the end of the year if they're unused, and so forth. So we're very similar, or if not identical, to the way everybody else in the space works with respect to that. Okay, so school comes in, logs in, they've got the dashboard. So I mentioned this earlier, this is the home page. You click home, it brings you right here every time, and then you've got 4 pages. Each one of these is just out to a page and then back, just like a website. And so navigation is really that simple. We've also got, for a little more advanced users, the ability to bypass the home page and go directly to one of the other pages here. We've got a unique video tutorial on every single page. And so I always tell people from the beginning, just click on each page of the software, watch the video. Most of them are 2 or 3 minutes. The editing one is 10 or 11 minutes because there's a lot more stuff there. But it's a great way to learn the software. And you can become a pro with the software literally in a very, very short period of time. Okay, due date here, you can turn this on or off just to give the school kind of a heads up on how things are looking. It actually turns red when there's a week left. Okay, so now from a feature standpoint, we'll just look at each one of these a little bit and I'll talk through it. And so manage users, this is the collaboration part of it, or kind of key to the collaboration part of it. Highlights, there's no minimum or maximum, more importantly, no maximum. I guess the minimum is 1, but there's no maximum number of users you can have here. So essentially what you can do is set up individual users by just clicking new user, punching in their information, and then you check a box based on their role in the creation of the book. And what these roles do is determine how much access they have to the software itself, as well as how much access they have to the book. And so, a viewer is somebody that can only view the book, they can't do anything else. So that's, that's the principle of the school, for example. Photographer can manage the photos but not design the book. Staff members can design just specific sections of the book that are assigned to them. Editors have full access to editing the book. They can oversee staff members. And then finally, advisors, they oversee everything. They can provide feedback. They can reject sections with comments. And most importantly, the advisor is the only one that can approve the finished book. And so all of that's defined right here. It's actually really easy to use. And you can set it up, 1 or 2 or 3 people for an elementary school, a teacher and a couple of volunteer parents. You can make them all advisors and they can share the responsibility. Or you can set up, I've seen, 40 kids in high school yearbook class with all different roles, copywriters, editors, photographers, designers, and so forth. I've also seen elementary schools with, 60 kids, each one working on their own page of the book simultaneously in a 2nd grade class. And so all of that stuff is supported with this, and it can get as easy or as complicated as you want depending on your scenario. But I haven't yet seen a collaboration scenario where we don't have a good solution. Okay, so that's the Manage Users page. We'll come back home and we're going to look at Manage Photos. So Manage Photos is uploading and organizing your photos. It's defaulting to advertising. It's just alphabetical here. I was actually showing the ads on this site. So these are the ads that come in, just as an aside, since it's here in front of us. These are the ads that come in from the ad generator. So these ads were created, paid for with a shopping cart. They get transmitted to the software as photos, and you drag and drop them onto the page. So when you have new advertising, it shows up right here. Then the rest of these are candidates in just different folders. And so what happens is sections get created in the software, and then candidates get uploaded just by clicking upload photos here, upload from your hard disk, and then organized here for inclusion into the book. And so that's what we're looking at, candidates. And then we've got all kinds of functionality for copying them, moving them to different folders, creating more folders. So all of your organization for candidates is available right here. And then for portraits, it essentially works the same way, with the exception of this. If I click Import Portrait CD, I can upload my PSPA index file, and then I can choose how I want to organize these folders of students, whether they're by grade or by homeroom. Whatever's available in the index file can be a key for folder organization. And so just a couple of steps there, everything gets uploaded automatically, and then the folders get created and so forth. And then these get flowed later on into the pages of the yearbook, and then the software maintains the order and stuff like that. And again, you can do editing, you can do organization and things like that here as well. And then finally, clip art. So I mentioned, the software's got thousands of pieces of clip art, but this right here is where a school can upload and organize their own clip art. So I made a Huskies 2018 folder, and I uploaded our logos and mascots here. These show up right alongside the standard set of Pixami clip art, and these will be here next year and the next year as long as the school keeps using the software. So it's a great way for a school to add their own custom clip art. You, as a Pixami customer, you can also add your own clip art and push it out to all of your schools using this feature as well, and as an admin. Okay, so I just got a question. Do candidates have to be uploaded, or can they work on pages dropping straight from images on hard drive, CD, or thumb drive? So candidates do have to be uploaded. And so the upload process is click upload, you navigate a drive, which could be a thumb drive, it can be your hard drive, but they need to be uploaded onto the server first. So since we're truly web-based, we want the photos up on the server where we have control of them before we start flowing into the book. If we started putting pages from a thumb drive into the book page, and then you pulled the thumb drive out of your computer and walked away, we don't have access to those images anymore. So we want control over them, which means that they need to be up on the server. And same thing as Shutterfly, Snapfish, and so forth. Any other truly web-based solution, that's the way that it's going to work. The uploader, really, really easy process. It's fast. It runs in the background. It gives you error messages for low-res images and stuff like that. So it's one of the first things you'll typically do, but it's really, really simple. Okay, so thanks for the question. I hope that answers it. And with that, that really covers it for managed photos. And so let's come back and let's get into really where 90% of the software exists is right here. So I showed you how you add a couple of users, you can upload, organize your photos. This is where the book gets designed, set up and designed. So really once things get rolling in the season, you're logging into the software and you're just immediately clicking on this button 90% of the time, especially if you're a student or you're just an editor. Okay. So manage and design book, there's two things here. So first of all, from a management standpoint, I mentioned the yearbook ladder. Everyone here is familiar with the yearbook ladder. Over on the right, here it is. Scroll all the way down first. I can see, okay, this is an 80-page book. Scroll back up a little bit. I can see 37 pages of this 80-page book have been assigned, and they're divided into sections, which the software just color codes for you. Click on a section, it just highlights it over here. So I can just cross-reference and see what it is. If I want to add a new section, I just click and add a new section. I can choose a design theme, give it the number of pages, give it a name, and then it shows up here. It shows up on the ladder. I can organize sections just by drag and drop and moving them around. It moves them around the ladder, updates their page numbers. I can click on a section, and I can rearrange the pages within a section. This one's actually empty, so I would normally see photos and text and live pages here. I can split sections. I can merge sections together. I can assign different people to work on sections. So these are the staff members. I mentioned collaboration. I can have 50, 60 different elementary school kids. Each one has one section or just one page they can use or work on using this functionality here. Okay, so this is the manage part of Manage and Design book. And so pretty straightforward, really, really powerful. I don't think there's anything you can't do here in terms of setting up and organizing your book. And you can continue organizing your book, adding to your book, deleting from your book until, literally it's the very end when it's done. Okay, so that's essentially managing our book. I can also click on Show Images over here. I like this because it's just a really quick and cool way to see exactly kind of what's happening. This is a pretty much blank demo book, or slightly messy too, because it's just mine. But I can just see live versions of the pages when I click on that, in the ladder view. Okay, and then also here's status. I can see what's happening with the book. So, especially during the day in a yearbook class or something like that, I might have multiple people working on different sections simultaneously. And so in this case, this section's checked out. It's being worked on by Eva right now. I've got, other sections that are in progress. These are available to check out and start working on. And then I've got other sections still that are complete. These are done and waiting for an advisor to review. And so, that's basically what these statuses mean. And these are going to change constantly during the course of the live book. Okay. Finally, let's take a look at the editing a little bit, just to give you a kind of feel for what this all looks like and how it works. So Pixami's editor, again, it's HTML5. So there's no Java or Flash or anything that just loaded here. There's no application running, no downloads, no installation, no flashing warnings up in your browser. This is just HTML sitting right here on the web page and talking to the server. Okay, and so what we've got here, a live WYSIWYG preview of the book. I've got my main tools up at the top. I've got all my design elements over on the right, off my screen a little bit. I've got navigation, so I can move forward and backwards through the book. Okay, and then I've got just a basic section that I created just with this standard rainbow theme to start. Okay, the way all this stuff works over on the right is just it's all drag and drop. So I can take one of these layouts and just drag and drop layouts onto the page. And there are 500 layouts in all these different categories. And again, all of this is referenced in a content reference guide, we call it. And so you can kind of pre-plan and so forth. Everything matches up. It's all professionally designed, custom fonts for all these themes and things like that. So really easy to kind of just come and play around until you get what you want. Background, same thing. Thousands of backgrounds organized in all of these different categories, subcategories within each one, and then they're just drag and drop. And so I can come in, drag and drop, and get them the way that I want. Photos are organized according to the section of the book. Photos are just drag and drop onto the page. Or with photos, I can also autofill and fill all the rest of it up. If I don't like what the software, the order it puts them in or something like that, I can drag and drop and replace a photo. Okay? When you click on a photo, you can see that I've got an editing toolbar above each photo. So if I click on that, I can come in and I've got a lot of different tools available. So for example, with this image, I can come in and crop it, reposition it, apply it right there live on the page. I can do things like add a border. I can change the color of the border. I can even use a color picker to pick a color from an image somewhere and then apply that color and that border to all the images. I've got rotations, all kinds of advanced editing, more advanced borders, things like that. So all kinds of basic, really easy to use editing tools here. And then for text, same thing. I've got all these built-in text boxes, title and caption, and I can come in and just type in my text. And I can change the font from a couple hundred different fonts. I can change the font style, color, size, and things like that. I can have borders for the font, text box. I've got rotations and things like that. So again, very, very easily, I just quickly built a good looking page. I can come in, I can copy and paste my captions or just type them in and things like that. But you can see from a novice user, it's really not very daunting stuff. It's pretty simple to figure it out. I've also got full undo and redo up here. If I don't like what I did, I can go back a couple pages or a couple steps. I go forward a couple steps. So you really can't mess up either. You really can't get in trouble. And so from a novice user, just starting with the built-in templates and just sticking to the basics, some basic image and text, there's quite a bit that you can do. Okay, so fast forward now to the more advanced stuff that I've been mentioning. You're the high school student. You've taken a bunch of design classes, things like that. You want to do a lot more. You can do that. So let's come in and me as a non-designer, I'll show you some of this stuff. Just get this frame out of the way. Let's take this one and just move it up here and line it up. I can turn on the grid if I want to, and let me just take this, get this one out of here. Take this image. We'll click on this. These are my more advanced functionality, kind of hidden in this extension off the toolbar. Let's duplicate this image, drop it down here, line it up, and reposition it. And let's maybe move this one over. But let's take this one and come into layering and bring it to the front, in front of that one. And then let's turn off the grid so we can see a little bit better. So I can come in, that doesn't look so good. So I can come in and really design pages any way that I want them to. Okay, I can come in over here with clip art. Here's our custom clip art that's sitting inside all the standard Pixami clip art. I can take my Husky logo and just drop it right here. And so what you see is you have all kinds of capability. You can even start with blank pages and really come in and build your own custom designs. You can also, let's say I'll move this text kind of over into this little square. You can also save this as a custom layout by clicking this button up here, and if you save it, it'll show up on the custom layouts tab. Okay, and so then you can use this throughout the rest of the book. Okay, so basically what you can see is, it's very easy to use, but if you're more advanced, you can do what you need to do as well. So, like I said, the elementary school to the high school, I think that we have it covered. We're constantly adding more features to the software, and to be honest, what people are asking for more is more and more of the more advanced stuff. And so we'll always have this kind of basic mode that'll always be easy to use. But I see us adding more and more advanced kind of layout functionality in the future. And a lot of that stuff is even coming in this forthcoming release at the end of the month. Okay, we started 5 minutes early, so I'm going to go, 5 or 8 minutes more. And I do want to show you just how the portraits work, because again, this is one of the kind of critical automatic features. So I'm going to spend about 2 minutes on this, and then we'll wrap this up. And definitely feel free to come with any questions or anything like that. What my intention right now is kind of just showing you what I think the highlights are. A lot of it with ease of use, powerful features and stuff like that. And I want to show some of the automated stuff as well. And so, the goal is to have you be able to show this off appropriately, and also to handle any objections. So again, if there are any specific questions, keep them coming. Okay, so portraits. Most important part of a yearbook, we have what we call a portrait wizard. I'm just going to select one grade. I can basically select a grade or a class, a folder, a homeroom. However my portraits are organized, I can select a folder and flow them into a page. You can grab all of the folders if you want and build all of your portraits in a single section as well. For us, to keep it simple, I'm just going to choose grade 6. I'm going to click OK, and we log into the portrait, or we launch in the portrait wizard. So now what I've got, portrait settings, it's all about rows and columns. Text settings, which is fonts and styles and positioning of text. Flow settings is how I handle one class to the next. Not relevant when I've just got one class here, but you can flow, 2 classes on one page, or page after page and things like that. And then apply and save is just navigation. I've got a live preview over here of what's happening, and then I've got a little navigator that shows me where I am in the section. And then finally some help text. So this is a 10-page section. I'm on the 3rd page in that section. I've got 30 portraits in one folder. I need 2 pages with the current settings. The current settings are 4x4. So I've got 16 on one page and 14 on the next. I can come in and play with this. Let's say I want to go 6 rows. Now I've got a 6x4. It updates it live. I still need 2 pages. Now I've only got 6 on the 2nd page. I could go 6x5. Okay, now I've got exactly 30 kids on one page. No extra room for additional kids on this page or anything else, but it works out perfectly. And so you can come in and play with this stuff, endlessly until you get it the way that you want. But I'll go ahead, let's go back, just so we can do this on 2 pages. Let's go back to kind of a 5x4. So we'll put 20 here and we'll put 10 on the next page. And then let's say we'll take a top margin, move everything down 2 inches. We'll put in a title here. We'll update the font to the same one I used earlier, make it a lot bigger, and change the color of the font. Okay, so just really, basic kind of design, really, really simple. If I want to, I can also change the position of the names. So I can put them below the photos if I want to. Or I can put them on the outside. I can change the width on the outside. I'll get warnings here if I have certain long names that won't fit, and then I can adjust the point size and things like that. And so really, really easy to get in and play around and get this the way that you like it. Once you've got it the way that you like it, you can actually save the settings in a drop down here, so you can just pull them up later on. And so really, really easy to kind of build it, get it exactly the way you want, and then apply it to all the panel pages for the rest of the book. Okay, let's say we like this, we'll click apply, we'll go next, apply to the next page, we'll click apply, click OK, we're done, and then there's my spread. And so that's how easy it is to build the panel pages. Now what you can do is still have access to all the advanced candid editing functionality that I showed you. You can drag and drop clip art onto this page. You can move things around. I can delete 4 of these and make a hole here and put a candid in there. And automatically all the images will reflow into these next 4 positions. And so you have the ability to make these really nice looking panel pages, but again, get much more advanced if you want to. Okay, so that's the panel page creation, and that pretty much wraps up a quickie overview of the editing, and hopefully you got kind of an idea of what the look and feel is all about and how kind of non-scary it is to use and easy to pick up. So when we're done, we'll go ahead and click this save box, and I get a warning here. Okay, I've got blank pages. If I had low resolution images or text that was in the safe area, certain things can trigger warnings, and so I'll get a warning. I'll go ahead and click OK. That warning is going to stay with me until I come and fix that. But it's okay for now. I'll go ahead and just let it go. Okay, so now I'm done. I can log out of the software. I can be finished. But the other thing that I can do is say I'm finished. I want a teacher to look at this. I think it's really great. I can mark it complete. That does two things. That locks it down. Okay, so no one else can check it out. No one else can work on it. The second thing it did was just emailed any advisors that are set up to receive emails that Gary's just checked in the student life section. Okay, so let me show you the final little piece of the software, and we'll wrap this up. Okay, so on the advisor review page, and again, this is a page that only the advisor can see. So no one else has access to this button except an advisor. The advisor logs in. They want to see the section that I just checked in that I think is so great. And so they log in. Again, they get the yearbook ladder. They get a very similar look, but they've got a lot more things they can do. They can preview this section. Okay, so here's the section we just made. They can flip through and take a look at it. They can see the blank pages that I just got here too. They can also generate a PDF proof. So if they generate a PDF proof, they can do just this section or the entire book. Click OK, and it'll actually build a low-resolution watermark proof. And so the idea of this proof is that you can print it out in the classroom, you can mark it up, hand it back to the designer, you can staple them together and keep it like a little running proof of the book throughout the entire school year. You can tape them on the chalkboard, whatever you want, but it allows you to have a physical proof of the book anytime that you want it as an advisor. And so here it is. Again, this is just a PDF of the pages that we just created. Okay, so the advisor's role is really oversight. Okay, so the advisor can approve this section, in which case it's finished. And kind of the whole goal of the software is to get every section approved, and then as it says here, you get a button where you could submit for proofing and then finally off to printing. The software provides, it manages that whole process with a nice, easy way to manage all your proofing and ultimately an online approval and things like that. But along the way, the advisor is going to, kind of be providing comments and input and, pushing things back at students, and, in a lot of cases in a high school class. So in this case, let's go ahead and do that. Let's say, well, it's not quite done. I'm going to click reject, and I'll say, looks good, but you. Okay, so you have a blank page. So I'll click OK. It goes back to that student. Okay, they get a little warning that says they've got a comment in here. It's back in progress, so they can check it out and keep working on it. They can click on info and see the comment. Okay, and you can see that I do the same thing over and over in my demos, but got it. So they can put, a comment back. And so what you see here is a running tally of this entire section, the whole history. Unfortunately, this is all just me, but you can see who's checked it in, who's checked it out, what they've done, when they've worked on it, and things like that. The other thing you can do on this activity tab is you can see a running history of the entire book that's live. So everything that's happened on this book, as well as kind of this visual status of the whole book. Percentage of the book and number of pages that haven't been started, that are in progress, that are completed, and then ultimately approved, and this is green. The goal is to see less red, less pages not started, and then more green approved until you get finished. We manage the cover separately because a lot of times you have a different deadline for the cover. We also show you really important unused portraits. So, the book's not done if you have any portraits that are unused. And then just informational, total images that have been uploaded, used, and things like that. And so, again, advisor review, it's a critical part of the collaboration, especially in, where you have students working on the book, where, you oversee the whole process, get all the information that you need, and provide feedback along the way, and then ultimately the only person that can approve it. And then finally, the one last thing we'll look at, e-commerce. So in the event that you have e-commerce set up, you're selling yearbooks or other products online, you have this e-commerce tab available. So I can do a report, I can see all of my sales by product, and then I can drill down and see, how many half-page ads I sold. I sold 4. This is a burlap pillow that I sold. I sold 3 of those. Total quantities and things like that. If I want to see more detail by yearbooks, no yearbook sales on this site, but this would be yearbook sales or other products, I can see the detail, who's ordered them, totals and things like that. I can also do a text view that I can copy and paste. And so the advisor, in the case of like a fundraising program or ad sales or even important yearbook sales, they have a way to come in anytime they want, track it, run reports, and things like that. And then, of course, you as a Pixami admin, you have a lot more advanced functionality that's available behind the scenes on the admin side as well. Okay, so that really covers kind of the demo portion of it. For anybody that isn't familiar with the software, I think everybody here is, but we have a lot more longer, advanced, detailed demos and things like that. Kind of the purpose of this one, and the purpose of this whole presentation is to show what I think is Pixami's value. Highlight the stuff that I think that we do better than the other software potentially, or things that are unique to us. And so, if you have a school that says, why should I use Pixami? I hope that after this, you're able to at least provide some answers to that. Finally, what I will say is that I am always available, and this is my information. Any questions, questions that you didn't want to answer during this, you can call me right after. Any questions you have along the way, any demos I can help with, input on how you get a certain district on board, or what's coming, next in Pixami, anything you ever need, always feel free to call me. You have my information. You can jot it down here as well. I'm going to put this recording up on YouTube, so this whole thing will be available later. You can pass it around to any of your colleagues also. And then finally, here's the rest of the webinar series. You've all received information on that. We're still doing this. We're still doing the introduction, a full-blown seminar just on ads, another one just on the school fundraising program that go into a lot more detail. And then, of course, this was how to sell Pixami. So thank you again for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm Gary Wood. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks very much.